Hello, my name is Alfred Lee, and my life learning paper online presentation is going to be on Philosophy of Management. Philosophy of Management, Section 1, Concrete Experience. Well, my experience began over 22 years ago when I was a young senior airman in the United States Air Force. In 1989, I attended my first enlisted professional military educational school. At that time, it was known as ALS, Airman Leadership School. It consists of a 5-week curriculum to enhance your skill in professional arms and improve your communication skill, all in an effort to prepare me for increased responsibility. It wasn't until 1992 until I became a supervisor. At that time, I only had one subordinate to supervise, and the single most important document that I used to aid me in my supervision was the Performance Fitness Evaluation Guide. It was a guide that consisted of volumes of management doctrines, supervisory guidance. This is also where, as a supervisor, I conducted my first counseling session with my subordinate in the form of a performance feedback. It was an opportunity for my subordinate to understand where he stood in the evaluation process and provide an opportunity to make improvements if needed. I also used this time to mentor to my subordinate to give advice and suggestions for improvement. I devised a tailored approach based on my subordinate's goal to attain successful professional development. I will go on to repeat this process many times with many subordinates through the years. In December 1997, I was assigned to Oklahoma City, Tinker Air Force Base Air Logistics Center, TF-33 2-level engine maintenance, and I was promoted to the grade of Tech Sergeant. I held this position from 2001 to 2003, and at the time I had between 20 military and civilian jet engine technicians that I had to supervise. The following year, in 2004, I had to attend yet another enlisted professional military educational school. It would be my last, the NCO Academy. It was a 6 weeks in residence curriculum, and the focus there was leadership and communication skills. October of 2004, I was promoted to the grade of Master Sergeant. October 2004 to February 2009, I held the position of Propulsion Flight Chief. I led a force of over 125 military and civilian personnel in testing of various aircraft jet engines, analyzed and I determined capabilities based on manpower, facilities, and support equipment. I worked closely and coordinated with upper-level management to ensure personnel and subordinates were properly equipped to accomplish the mission. Section 2, Observations and Reflections. As I reflect back over my military career management, it was bittersweet because early on in my career as a young airman, I did not receive feedback or mentorship. However, there was one supervisor that I do recall early on in my career. His name was Sergeant Corsi. He had a cool, calm demeanor, he had a sense of empathy, and he cared. So I remembered one day when I'm in that position as a supervisor, I would try and embody some of those characteristics that he had. Abstract concepts and generalizations. Being in the military, having a career in the military, when I think of management, I think of management versus leadership. There are managers and there are leaders. A manager gets people to do what needs to be done. However, a leader inspires people to do what needs to be done. There is a significant difference there. There is also another concept a good manager can use, and that's empowerment, where you can align the organizational goals with the workers' goals. They're all one and the same, where there's shared sacrifice and shared involvement. Also, mentorship. A good manager uses the tool of mentorship, so him or her is aware of what the subordinates want from them. Applications to new situations. I've applied many of those management and leadership concepts that I've learned over the years to many aspects of my life. For instance, a basic example of this, without any prior experience coaching young children, I volunteered to coach my 9-year-old son's flag football team. In spite of this fact, we had a very successful experience because I relied on my previous experience of organizing and motivating people to achieve a common goal. Thank you, and this completes my online presentation of philosophy management. God bless.